Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Cecilia, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased to have joined us with the Clean Energy Metals Conference. Our next presentation is from Sierra Metals. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Scheduled Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Ernesto Balarezo, Chief Executive Officer of Sierra Metals, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol SMTSF and on the TSX under the symbol SMT. Welcome, Ernesto.
Thank you very much, Cecilia, and thank you everyone for attending this webinar. Let me start by explaining a little bit about my background. I have been in the mining industry for 30 years, almost 30 years. I've worked at Hochschild Mining for 17 years. My last position there was COO, in charge of 3 countries with their operations. I then moved to Goldfields, the fourth largest gold mining company in the world. I was the VP for the Americas at that point, and also with some responsibility overseeing the operations of Ghana, Australia, and South Africa. So always on the operations side of the business. That's me. And then now moving on to Sierra, it might help if I give you a little bit of background on Sierra Metals. Sierra Metals have been it's been a company in a sell process for many years. Previous managers were running the company, but always with a view to sell the company. When you do that and you are a seller, you lose track of what's important on the medium term, long term for a company. And this happens in every industry. So that happened, that the consequence of that, we saw it in 2022. I joined the company in January 1st, 2023. But in 2022, everything went south for the company. The 3 mines that they had at that time got flooded. Pumping systems were not working properly. Ventilation systems were not working properly. The company didn't have any cash on hand, any cash at all. A debt of $85 million was due in the next 18, 24 months. So you can imagine the amount of problems this company had to face in 2022. On top of that, the board of directors at that time put out a press release saying that this company was probably going to be broke in a few months. So you can imagine what happened with the stock price. It went from $4 on something to 13 cents in a year. So that's talking about losing value and destroying value. So why I joined the company then in January of 2023? Because I saw a great opportunity here. Out of the 3 assets that this company had at that time, 2, I believe, are world-class assets, and I'm going to show you why. So that's why I decided to take the challenge and join the company with the condition that I was going to be able to change the management team. I do believe that it's better and faster when you run into these kind of problems to bring people with your same mindset of operating a business than to try and change the mindset of previous managers that were on a sell mood for quite a while. That requires time, money, which we didn't have at that time. So coming into Sierra Metals, we're a copper producer with precious and base metal byproducts, especially precious. Gold and silver are 26% of our revenues, as you can see here. Gold and silver, 12% and 14%, but mainly a copper producer. Now we don't have 3 operations, we only have 2. In Mexico, one Bolivar, and in Peru, one Yauricocha. We have been focused the first year, I mean, in 2023, we have been focused on the first two pillars: safety, health, environment, and communities. We needed to reestablish the culture on these non negotiables. It's what I call non negotiables, and operational excellence. We needed to put back on track Yauricocha and Bolivar. Right now, we're thinking a little bit. I dedicate probably 15, 20% of my time to think about growth. What's next for the company? What have we been able to accomplish last year? Look at the right-hand side of the slide. Bolivar was only treating 2,000 tons per day in January of last year. Now Bolivar is around 5,000 tons per day. We did do and invested a little bit of money on the ventilation shafts and put the right people on the job in Bolivar to manage the mine. So starting probably August, September of last year, we were able to reach around 5,000 tons per day, and we continue to do so. We now have an updated 43101 that shows and tells the market what we have in terms of resources and reserves. I'm going to show you that. It's amazing. We were able to refinance our debt last year. Actually, we did refinance it this year, but we started the negotiations last year. Now we don't have to pay $85 million in less than 2 years. Now we have a 5-year term loan, 35% balloon on year 5. 1 year, the first year we only pay interest, and we can pay this debt out anytime without any penalties. It's a little bit expensive, SOFR plus 6.5 right now. So we are planning on refinancing it again because we're showing and giving good results to everyone. This is something that blows my mind still. We didn't have a permit. Let me go to that slide. Hold on a minute, please. Oh, I think I need to double click. Yeah, we didn't have a permit to mine below the level 1120. Look at the left-hand side of the slide. 95% of our resources are below the 1120 level. We had a permit to drill. That's why we know we have a bunch of mineral. But on top of this 1120 level, which we have mined the last 75 years, there is little mineral left. Now, in February 21st of this year, we got the permit to mine below the 1120 level. So now we can access all that immense amount of resources that we have. Our share price has increased a lot, 200%. I think we're doing great on this front. We did an equity financing on October of last year. We wanted to show the market that management and shareholders believed in this management team again. Just to let you know, almost all the top 40 managers in this company are new to the company. They have been poached from very good companies like Goldfields, Hochschild, Volcan here in Peru. But we wanted to show the market that we believed in this company. 10% of this, $16 million Canadian, came from us, from managers. So that's great. Cusi, this is the mine that we got rid of in the sense that we sold it. We didn't want it in our portfolio. It needed money. It's a good mine, but it needed a lot of money, a lot of exploration money. So we decided just to take it, to let it go. We kept a 2% NSR, just in case the new owners start producing and do very good. Excuse me. Now let's move on to Yauricocha. Not to take much time, but look at the amount of resources that we have in Yauricocha. Measured and indicated 10 million, inferred 13 million. And this is our 43101 saying it. It's not us saying it only. The capacity of this mine is 1.26 million tons per year, 3,600 per day. Because remember I told you we don't have enough mineral on top of the level 1120, which we are developing right now. We started last year at 2,000 ton per day only. We didn't have 3,600 tons a day to extract from above the 1120. Starting February 22nd, one day after we got this permit of this year, we have started to develop that part of the mine. Now we're at 2,800 ton per day, and by the end of the year, we'll be at 3,600 ton per day, which is full capacity. With this amount of resources, 23 million tons of resources, and at this capacity, at full capacity, we have a life of mine of more than 13 years. That, for underground mining, is very, very good. That means that if we don't do any exploration, we have 13 years of life, but we will do some exploration every year. In terms of copper equivalent production, as you can see, because we didn't have any mineral, production went low, went down. In 2023, we were able to maintain the production of 2022. This year is going to be a little bit more than 2023, but not much. Remember, we are developing below the 1120 level, and costs reflect what I just told you. It started going up. So the costs next year, when we'll be at full production, will come down, probably in the high twos again. We will be producing next year between 75 and 60 million pounds of equivalent copper. If we go to Bolivar, the same. We have 30 million tons of resources measured and indicated and inferred resources, 30 million. At 5,000 tons per day, we have a 13 years mine life of mine. This again is amazing. So that's when I first said that we have two amazing deposits, world-class underground deposits. I mean it. I mean, and we will continue to develop them. This is a very shallow mine, only 300 meters in depth, and it's open. Both deposits are open, along strike and in depth. So looking forward to find new and exciting things. This mine, Bolivar, we can very easily take it to 7,500 tons and 10,000 tons. The caveat here, the problem here is that we don't have enough tailings capacity. So we are in the process of building a new tailings dam in the next 2 to 3 years, and then we'll go to 7,500 and then to 10,000 ton per day. 2020 is not a reflection of the mine. I mean, you can see here because of this all-in sustaining cost of 188 that no capex was done. They high graded the mine, they decycled the mine, and look at 2021, 2022, production started coming down, obviously, and costs started going up. Last year, we fixed a lot of things in the mine. We were able to produce 37 million equivalent pounds of copper at a very decent cost, 329. This year, and we did this only with 3 stopes available. This year, we want to have, by the end of the year, 9 stopes available, just to prepare the mine to ramp up to 7,500 tons and 10,000 tons per day. That's why our cost is not coming down yet, but it will come down in the next years as we increase the capacity of our mine. I'm not gonna talk about this. It's just how we're producing in each metal. We're doing very good. This is very important. Look at the EBITDA numbers that we're generating. $32 million in the first half of the year. Look at the bottom left graph. In 2020, 2021, we were producing around $100 million in EBITDA. Most of this number, 60, 70% of this number came from Yauricocha at full capacity. at 3,600. So next year we'll be at full capacity, and we, Yauricocha, will be generating very, very decent cash flows and EBITDA numbers. Bolivar, it's a $50 million EBITDA operation, probably 60 until we increase the capacity. So you can see how we receive, how we inherit these operations at with a $13 million EBITDA number in 2022. We were able to accomplish 46 last year. This year is going to be around 60, $70 million. And 2025, it's where the good stuff is coming. The net debt to EBITDA ratio is not an issue anymore for us and for the banks as well, 1.56. We were at 5.86 times net debt to EBITDA ratio. So now it's not an issue. What's next for Sierra Metals? Where do we see ourselves? Well, as I explained, Bolivar to increase capacity in the next few years, and this is going to be an amazing. It is an amazing deposit. It's going to be another cash cow for us in the next years. Yauricocha, as I explained, we are ramping it up, and by Q4 of this year, November, December, we'll be at full capacity. So starting next year, Yauricocha and Bolivar will be at full capacity both. And that's organic growth. And we are very, very much focused these days on organic growth. Inorganic growth, M&A, it's hard to get something accretive for a company, but we have proven ourselves to be good turnarounders, good miners. We are hands-on. We go to sites and take care of things, and we have a very engaged team. So that makes the whole difference. So we are metal agnostic. We're looking in the Americas. Priorities, obviously, Peru, Mexico. These are mining countries. Mining is not going away from our countries. And then the Americas, probably in the northern US, Canada. We also have greenfield projects. We have in Peru a big porphyry. We have signed some NDAs with some major companies, and of the major companies in the world that know a lot about porphyries. It's not for us. It's too big for us. So hopefully I'll have good news in the next months. And we also have some projects, 7 projects. Some are drilled in Mexico, where we are looking to JV those. We have $20 million in our bank accounts right now, but we are not going to put money for greenfields. We rather put it in the organic growth. This is what I told you at the beginning. Look at the share price performance. In 2021, our share price was at $4, almost 4.80 or so, with one bad asset losing money, Cusi, and 2 assets running not so good, not so well. Look at the share price went down to 13 cents. We started marketing the new Sierra Metals in August, September of last year, and things have started the market has started to realize that this is a different management team and this is a different company now. It's not for sale. We are operating and generating cash flows from our country, from our operations, I'm sorry. And this is the last slide, and then we'll go to Q&A. Look at the market cap of the company in US dollars, $110 million. If you add up what I told you about the EBITDA numbers, you multiply that by 5, you can see that we are very, very much undervalued. So this is a good opportunity for everyone. I keep buying shares. I own 1.5% of the company. And like I said before, the management team owns around 4 or 5% of the company. So that's a good message also to the market. We are putting our money where our mouth is. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for your time and for this webcast. I hope I gave you a good picture, an interesting picture of our company, and our phone number and contact information is on the screen. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good weekend.